Hey everyone! So if you've been binge watching the German comedy series Dudes on Netflix, you're probably wondering, is there going to be a season 2? Well, let's dive into everything we know so far about the future of this show. For those who haven't watched it yet, Dudes, originally titled Alphamännchen in German, is helmed by Toby Baumann and Jan Martin Scharf. The show is all about four middle-aged friends who have an old-school perspective on masculinity. And things get really interesting when the modern world forces them to question their preconceived notions. Season 1 ending recap. The first season wraps up with all four friends sitting down at their favorite cafe and reflecting on their mistakes. While Ulf and Erik double down on their toxic behaviors, Cem and Andi begin to understand how they often unintentionally perpetuate a negative outlook on life. With their relationships falling apart, the friends realize they must ditch their faulty mindsets and develop a healthier lifestyle. Release date expectations. Now here's the thing, Netflix has not confirmed a second season as of writing. But if we're looking at a best-case scenario, fans can expect it sometime around 2027. I know, that's quite a wait. Following the Spanish predecessor's path. So, what would Season 2 actually be about? Well, the inaugural season ends with three of the four friends sinking deeper into their respective emotional quicksands. As such, a potential sequel is bound to return to the subject of their fractured social and romantic lives. Here's something interesting. Dudes is based on a Spanish show called Machos Alfa, or Alpha Males in English, and that show has 3 seasons under its belt as of writing. So there's already a creative trajectory at hand for the German counterpart to follow. Character storylines to expect. It's likely that the next chapter in Ulf, Andi, Cem, and Erik's lives will be one of reconciling with the more problematic thought systems that they have internalized. However, whether that transformation leads to healthier relationships depends entirely on how the characters handle things. Ulf's desperate mission. Let's talk about Ulf first. He is desperate to get his family back in one piece, and in case Season 2 is greenlit, we might see him move beyond his platform manifest and rekindle his relationship with Elif. Ambiguous paths for the best friends. While Ulf has a clear-cut narrative path in sight, the case of his best friends ends on a much more ambiguous note. Andi and Silke's troubles. With Andi and Silke's relationship nearly returning to its former glory, Andi's interest in an open marriage is bound to create a new wave of troubles. Erik's broken trust. Erik is on a similar wavelength. His infidelity has just been discovered by Kim, not only breaking their open marriage contract, but also her trust. As the possibility of her leaving for Munich is always on the table, he has to rush to make amends before it's too late. Cem's hidden secret. Cem ends Season 1 with a happy relationship, but he has secrets of his own. His partner Vanessa is yet to know that he is best friends with her professional rival, Ulf, and that revelation might cause this romantic pair to fall apart as well. The core theme. The thematic undercurrent between all of these plot lines is that of the friends becoming more conscious of their patriarchal mindset and how that harms not just the people in their lives, but also them. Expected cast for Season 2. Now let's talk about the cast. The narrative of Dudes is heavily reliant on both the actors and the characters' innate chemistry, with each person playing their part in creating a comic, richly detailed take on masculinity. Main cast returning. If Season 2 gets greenlit, it's likely that most of the cast will be making a return. We're talking Tom Beck as Ulf, Yerman Gur as Cem, David Rott as Erik, and Moritz Fuhrmann as Andi, reprising their roles respectively. The same can be said for actors Marlene Losa, Mona Pirzad, and Franziska Machens, who essay the roles of Kim, Elif, and Silke, respectively. The cast has expressed numerous times that their bond in real life mimics what they portray on screen, and as such, their work in a follow-up season will only enhance the show's communicative prowess. Supporting characters. Alongside the four best friends and their respective partners, a number of supporting characters add to the narrative. Valentina Leone steps into the role of Alina, Cem's daughter. As the driving force behind her father's romantic pursuits, the the chances of her returning to the show are extremely high. However, the same cannot be said about actors Sabine Vitua, Nesha Demir, and Stephanie Kemmer, as their contributions to the story as Corinna, Frau, and Loanne wrap up within the bounds of the first season. Manuel Meyerhofer, who enters the story as Schorsch, a key player in Silke's arc, is also less likely to return for a potential sequel given the limited nature of his role. New faces expected. That said, one can expect a number of fresh faces joining the cast to support the core plot of Dudes. Deeper exploration of toxic masculinity. So what themes will Season 2 explore? The first season ends with Ulf kickstarting an alpha male platform before realizing that his actions only end up costing him his family. To that end, he makes an uncharacteristic gesture of love, expressing to his friends how much they mean to him. A potential second season will likely step deeper into that territory, utilizing Ulf and Erik as its primary lenses into how men sometimes conceal their emotions while catering to conventional notions of gender. Erik's double standards. In Erik's case, he has yet to acknowledge the double standards he sets up by cheating on Kim, but having a problem with polyamory. Sem's path to honesty. For Sem, the season progresses and he gathers enough confidence to lead a life of honesty, and his relationship with Vanessa amplifies that. However, the fundamental set of lies that drives the dynamic forward might come to bite him, and the psychotherapist has to prepare for that in advance. Andi and Silke's complex marriage. Andi and Silke's complex married life brings forth an arc where both characters need to work equally hard on their respective flaws. While Andi explores his own sexuality even further, Silke's story might continue her teasing with notions of transparency in marriage. Elif's work-life balance. For Elif, who has started a fresh career as a social media personality, balancing her work with family remains a challenge, and a potential second season might see her prioritizing one over the other. Vanessa's publishing career. Vanessa, who is en route to establishing herself as a publishing powerhouse, might enter into a sincere relationship with Sem, which would mean developing a positive bond with Ulf. Kim's life-changing decision. Kim has some of the most dynamic twists and turns within the story, and whether she breaks things off with Erik and pursues her career ambitions in Munich will likely alter the close-knit character dynamics forever. So that's everything we know so far about Dudes Season 2. It's going to be a waiting game to see if Netflix gives it the green light, but there's definitely a lot of potential for where these characters could go next. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.